Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. It's Thursday, December 3rd. Thanks for choosing to be here to get your top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We start today with the biggest news out of Governor Mike DeWine's press conference today. We're used to hearing from him on Tuesdays and Thursdays now, and we don't typically hear from him on another day unless there's big news. Well, we will be hearing from Governor DeWine tomorrow. He'll be talking about vaccine distribution protocols. He talked a little bit today about how the Ohio National Guard has been practicing to break down vaccine packaging and put them into smaller amounts so that they can go to the places that need less, and how they're down to doing it in about 2 minutes, which is crucial because some of these vaccines need to be packed in very cold temperatures. So that's something he talked about today, and tomorrow we'll hear more from him on the protocols for distributing those vaccines when they arrive here in Ohio, which is expected to be relatively soon here, within this month, within the next week or so, week and a half or so. Here's news about our positivity rating and Ohio's travel advisory. Ohio has reached a 15% positive rate, which means for the number of COVID-19 tests that are being done, 15% or more are coming back positive. So that means that Ohio has now joined our own travel advisory quarantine list. Since the summer, DeWine has recommended for people coming into Ohio from other states with a positive rate over 15% that they quarantine for 14 days after coming to Ohio. They do that in a hotel or in an individual home where they would be staying. Well, Ohio is on that list now, along with 13 other states. So what that means for Ohio to be on that list is if you are traveling within the state of Ohio, even if you live here, it is now asked that you quarantine for 14 days when you get to your destination. The 13 other states that are on the list right now, which means they have a positive rate of over 15%, are Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Idaho, Iowa, Kansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, and Utah. Now we have the latest numbers in from the Ohio Department of Health when it comes to COVID-19 here in Ohio. And again, we are still seeing that warning on the Ohio coronavirus dashboard that there is a surge in testing and the data is incomplete because of the unprecedented volume of tests and there being a backlog in having them reviewed. Even so, the new cases reported today in the last 24 hours are at 8,921, and that is the fifth highest count for new cases in a single day we've seen in Ohio since the pandemic began, all the way back on March 9th. Our positive rate for the tests that are coming back, the daily positive rate as of Tuesday, December 1st, is now at 16.1%. It was 18.9% on Monday, so that is jumping around a little bit there, but that is down, but still above 15%, again, putting us on that travel advisory list. The 7-day average is now at 15.4%. That is as of Tuesday, December 1st. And in the last 24 days, 82 more people have been reported to have died related to COVID-19. That's down from what we saw on Wednesday. We saw 123 new reported deaths on Wednesday. In a little bit of good news here, the hospitalizations are down. That's new hospitalizations and current active hospitalizations. 386 people have been hospitalized in the last 24 hours. That's less than what we saw yesterday when there were 436 new people hospitalized. And the total number of people in the hospital right now is 5,142 being treated for COVID-19. Of those people, 1,204 of them are being treated in an ICU. That number is also less than we saw yesterday, and we saw 33 new ICU admissions in the last 24 hours. Now let's take a look at the national and the global numbers for COVID-19. These come from Johns Hopkins University. In the U.S., we are very, very close to 14 million reported COVID-19 cases. That number is now 13,993,296. And in the last 24 hours, another day where there have been well over 2,000 reported deaths, almost 2,600 reported deaths, bringing that number to now 274,577 in the U.S. And our percentage of the global cases is ticking up ever so slightly. We've got 4% of the global population, but the U.S. has 21.6% of the COVID-19 reported cases right now, and staying steady at 18.3% of the reported COVID-19 deaths right now. Globally, We are now at 64,863,145 cases of COVID-19, another day with over 650,000 new reported cases in the last day, and deaths almost at 1.5 million at the global level. That number, 1,499,586. We do have good news for Cleveland Heights educators. Cleveland Heights and University Heights City School District has avoided a strike. We talked about this yesterday. Now, we don't have the details yet, but they have reached a tentative agreement with the Board of Education. But here's what we do know is that the strike was over retirement and health benefits. The Cleveland Heights Teachers Union said that they were going to go on strike because there were going to be a change to retirement and health benefits that would cost members between $3,000 and $5,000 a year. And the teachers union said that the district put a new contract into effect on its own that would drive out experienced, skilled educators, and that would ultimately impact the quality of education for the students in the Cleveland Heights, University Heights City School District. But they have reached a tentative agreement, which is a great piece of information for those teachers because under Ohio law, during a strike, they would lose those health benefits that they are fighting for right now. So from this point forward, the union still has to ratify that agreement and the school board has to sign off on it. So when we do know those details, we'll be sure to bring them to you. Now, we are very interested in the sports news that comes out whenever we get it. So right now, we are ranking the Cleveland potential trade partners for shortstop Francisco Lindor. MLB.com's John Paul Morosi put out a list of teams that would be likely candidates to potentially vie to get Francisco Lindor from our Cleveland baseball team, because it does seem that it is virtually a certainty that he will not be staying with Cleveland because of the amount of salary he would command being such an incredible shortstop. Well, our 3 News sports analyst Ben Axelrod analyzed those teams from Morosi's list from least appealing to most appealing. So we're going to take a look at the top 3 right now. Third, the Philadelphia Phillies. With Didi Gregorius set to hit free agency, the Phillies will likely be in the market for a new shortstop. Now, the Phillies farm system only ranks 23rd in the league, but they have the type of young major league ready players such as Alec Bohm and Spencer Howard that Cleveland will likely be looking for. So, potential trade partner there. Now, in the same division, we have the New York Mets, and they have a new owner with deep pockets. It's hedge fund manager Steve Cohen just bought the team for $2.4 billion and basically said he came to play. He's not here to mess around. He's willing to spend the money to make that team competitive. So, it's not really a question of will they make a big name acquisition, but rather who will that be? And the Mets also have the number 20 farm system and includes 4 top 100 prospects. So they could potentially put together a pretty decent offer for Cleveland in order to get Francisco Lindor. And it could become a bidding war with the Phillies and also the New York Yankees, who could be another potential trade partner, just not in the top 3 most desirable. They actually rank number 4, and you can check out that analysis on WKYC.com. Now, for the number 1 most appealing, according to Ben Axelrod's analysis, the Toronto Blue Jays. They've got a young roster, and the Blue Jays could definitely add a star player of Francisco Lindor's caliber. And Toronto executives Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins worked in Cleveland when Lindor was drafted in 2011. So they are very familiar with him. The Blue Jays also have the number 7 farm system. And so if Toronto decides that Toronto wants Lindor, they could potentially make a great trade offer, especially if they make one of their top 100 shortstop prospects available. That includes Austin Martin and Jordan Groshans. For more on that, check out WKYC.com. Now, as we are getting closer and closer to the holiday system, the North Pole has released its Department of Christmas Affairs Naughty and Nice list, and it is a hefty document. It's got over 400 pages of names, over 24,000 names, and whether you are on the naughty or the nice list. So make sure you check that out. We have it up on WKYC.com, and if you find yourself on the naughty list, you will need to act fast. The Department of Christmas Affairs says that good deeds and genuine niceties will be detected by the department's Global Behavior Tracking Network, and good vibes will be sent directly to the North Pole Record Center. Now, to get on the nice list, you need to act fast because the times for adjudicating good behavior are short and unforgiving. Also, it is possible that there was a mistake, so if you find yourself on the naughty list, The department will check it a third time because remember, the list has already been checked twice. So if you think you're in the wrong category, you need to put together a list of all of the good deeds that you've done and send that to the Department of Christmas Affairs. I personally checked my family. I checked my mom and dad, my brothers, all of my nieces and nephews. The only person on the naughty list is my niece Aubriana. So I'll be having a talk with her. We'll be putting together that good list to send that on. Before we let you go here, I want to say congratulations to several of our members of the 3 News family. Cleveland Scene released its Best of Cleveland 2020, the best of Cleveland in the worst of times. And we have several winners and some honorable mentions in our 3 News family. Mike Polk Jr. won for the category of Best Comedian in the Arts and Entertainment section. And in the People and Places section, Jim Donovan won for Best Sports Reporter. Also in the category of Best Anchor, 3 of our anchors landed in the top 5. That includes Betsy Kling, Russ Mitchell, and Jim Donovan. And WKYC as a whole was voted the second place for Best Newscast. These are your votes, by the way. Cleveland Scene doesn't track these themselves. These are votes for Cleveland Scene that people submitted. So thank you for your votes, and thank you for Cleveland Scene continuing this tradition. There won't be an event this year, but still celebrating those winners. That's it for your 3 News Now update for Thursday, December 3rd. I'll see you next up on What's New at 5 p.m. with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for more 3 News Now. Everyone stay safe and be well. I'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm Stephanie Haney.